All right, everyone. Welcome to the onboarding webinar of Capacity4dev. I'm Ivan Pizeta, the new community manager. I joined the team 3 months ago. I help users to create engagement and to engage them in our platform. Any suggestions, any tips or tricks you'd like us to share with you, get in contact with us. Maria already put some links on the chat. I ask you to, if you have any questions, please use your question and answer feature that is here in the Teams. But for the beginning, just a reminder that is also written in the chat, the session is being recorded. If you wouldn't like to be in the video that we'll be uploading on YouTube, our members channel, please let us know and turn off your camera if that's the case. So to begin with, I'm going to start with a little networking session. I'm going to introduce ourselves. And for that, you're going to need to unmute and, if possible, to unlock your camera. Also, use the raise your hands tool here from Teams as well. I'm going to start, and then you can start assigning to speak. So you can follow this line for creating a pitch, for example, about yourself, or you can speak freely of a project you are working with, or whatever else you would like to showcase. So I'm Ivan Pizeta, as I said, and the new Capacity4dev community manager. I come from Brazil, and I'm also Italian, but I'm speaking from Brussels right now. It's a sunny and warm day. And what I expect from this webinar is to enhance community engagement from and for users in the platform. So I don't see any hands risen. Maybe from the camera open, Karen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Dr. Karen Simpson, and I'm working for, I'm CEO of 751 Earth. That means 7 continents, 5 oceans with 1 mission, which is our planet. So all our work is like focused on projects that are sustainable, and predominantly energy transition, waste to energy, plastic pollution, and we're mostly working in Africa. So one of our projects is for a green hydrogen facility for the port of Mombasa. This would facilitate a green corridor that comes up from Southeast Asia, where they have access to hydrogen, and then the vessels use the Red Sea and use the Suez Canal to access Europe. Mombasa is the optimum space to actually put in place another green hydrogen facility so ships can refuel, and that's given rise to the implementation of the IMO sulfur convention, which has made it mandatory for ships to become carbon neutral by 2050 and to have achieved at least 40% of that by 2030. So that's in a nutshell.
Nice. Thank you, Karen. Gonzalo, would you like to introduce yourself? Your camera is open.
Okay, yeah, sure. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So hello everybody. Thank you so much. My name is Gonzalo Dieguez. I'm the executive director at Center for Advocacy and Global Growth. We are a do tanks. We work with a strong and very expanded networking of think tanks. Where main focus are related with Latin American and Caribbean think tank, also with African think tank as well. So I would say that in our hand, our main purpose is try to strengthen sustainable development project with the southern global, the southern countries, and also we try to provide some technical assistance and mentorships in the design, the monitoring, and the evaluation of multilateral funded projects. So we try to, in a short way, I would say that We are trying to provide funding from the European institutional funds and also with the main stakeholders, agency, and another United Nations project here in the ecosystem of the United Nations in Geneva. So we try to build some golden bridge between the think tanks, the ATG agenda, and the institutional fund that are just around. That's our main goals, and we are so happy to attend here because we are just trying to learning by doing. So our ears and our eyes are fully open. Thank you so much for that.
Right. Nice. We have a virtual tour as well, so you can get more of the
Yeah.
practice at the end.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
Thank you. I cannot read the full name. Mamaka, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Hi, yes. Hello, everyone. Myself, Mamaka. I'm a PhD student in Düsseldorf. My main area of research is mostly in mobile health or any digital health technologies. So basically, we are trying to use these digital technologies to early detect the psychological diseases. So there's already a lot of data in the imaging which actually used for this. So there's one more modality which we are trying to use, the digital health and the data collected from different sensors, mobiles, and everything. So yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Julia, would you like as well to introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Giulia Scavuzzo. I work as a monitoring officer in the European Agency for Asylum. So I don't work exactly in development, but closely related, I would say. So my main tasks are basically monitoring of results and process and creation, of course, of all the monitoring tools and methodology related to the operations, which the agency is running currently in 13 member states countries. So there is a lot of aggregation of data, analysis of data, creation of methodology, adaptation of methodology, and so on and so forth.
Right. I hope you can use the Capacity4dev for sharing some of the methods. Thank you, Julia. And lastly, Arnaud.
Yes, nice to meet you. So I'm working at ADE in Louvain-la-Neuve, and we will conduct a study on the EU support in the sector of education to partner countries. And so I would like to discover what is available on the platform to get me started with.
All right. Perfect. Well, let's move on. If you remembering that if you have any questions, just use the Q&A, and we're gonna launch a poll, so you can answer here directly in the platform.
Are you looking for questions from us?
No, did you? It's in the screen. So when you hear Capacity4dev, what's the first word that comes to mind?
Capacity building.
Capacity4dev, the name of the platform.
Oh, capacity for development. No, it's fine. It's definitely needed. We in our work in Africa, most of our projects, I've done an awful lot of evaluation for the EU, and I'm just currently finishing one for a 42 million project. And every time we have capacity building, because we can provide the technology, but unless we leave somebody behind that knows how to use that technology, then that technology is worthless, because like the port, for example, have to constantly be dependent on its European partners to ensure the continuation of whatever technology we put in place. So capacity for development is actually superb, a very good name.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I see that a lot of people, the EU word comes in mind, of course, but also sharing of information and knowledge. We're gonna introduce some of these cues here. But first, this is our Capacity4dev team. I don't know if Ariela is here today. But we have Ariela, which is from the INTPA side. We have Claudia, which with alongside of Jimmy, they made part of the editorial team. Mahi in the business IT project management. Maria, our support user support manager, and me as community manager. If you have any questions concerning the platform that is attached to their field of capacity, please send an email. We are also sending the support email in the chat. So what are we covering today? What is Capacity4dev? Who can use the platform? The features that are available? How you can benefit from being a user, and a virtual tour. And at the end, we can also go through the questions. But if you have any specific question that is attached to what I'm talking currently, you can also ask. And if it's pertinent, we're going to share already during the presentation. So what is Capacity4dev? Capacity4dev is the European Commission online sharing platform that is designed to connect professionals in international cooperation. It started back in 2009 and is managed by the Directorate General of International Partnerships, or INTPA. The idea is to boost our ability to develop capacities through knowledge sharing. It was also revamped. The platform had a migration on 2023. We made it more user-friendly. We feature now podcast episodes. We have an ambassadors program from various EU institutions as members, and initiatives to promote best practices. For example, next month we are launching the best practices group. It's a group to exemplify how you can make the best out of it. To further support users, we also have now these webinars. We're going to have next week an advanced webinar. If you'd like to join, please let us know. And we are preparing more networking opportunities. We are launching a community coffee initiative in the next few months. So you're going to hear about it in Capacity4dev.
Perfect.
So how do we do that? We collaborate, we engage, we learn from each other, we share our expertise, we have access to tools, all in one place. And who can use it? So it's used by staff from the EU institutions, the Relax family, which represents the people that work with the external relations of the European Union, alongside the member states' embassies. We have international cooperation professionals from all over the world, from partner governments, from civil society organizations, from other international organizations, and also the private sector. Academia is also a relevant public included in this platform. There's also some level of sharing academic articles that can contribute to our international cooperation activities. Not everyone is accepted to join the platform. We have our terms and conditions and our privacy statement, so we have to be in line with that. But it's a human approval, so we analyze each case before approving them. So we keep a safe space for everyone here. What is the added value of the platform? So it's the only collaborative platform where all Relax members interact with equal access in public, restricted, or private environments. I'm going to talk more about that in the next slides. It is hosted by the EU institutions in a secure IT environment, but it is, let's say, 80% community-created platform. So 80% is what members, users create, and 20% from our side, mainly what our editorial team produces, and other stuff. We are active also on LinkedIn, X, YouTube, and Facebook, which is also to mention that we can provide some visibility to your actions. You just have to get in contact with us. For example, if you publish something on Capacity4dev, we can also publish it on LinkedIn in our own page or include in our newsletter, however, if it's better for your case. And we are transforming the website in a multilingual website. It will be humanly translated to English, French. English it already is English, French, and Spanish. And for the rest of the languages, we're going to use the machine translation that is already being applied to many European Union websites. So let's talk a little about the features that are available in the platform. We have groups, projects, resources, and articles. First, we start with groups. The groups is like a little online community where we all gather around and dive deep into specific topics, regions, projects. Well, groups are dedicated spaces where we can get our heads together, we can brainstorm, we can create discussions, and we can navigate through the initiatives, the information that is alongside it. The main difference from groups and projects is that projects, they don't have discussions, they have news. And the projects have customizable menu on the top of it. I'm going to show you later as well. The idea of projects is to substitute external websites. So normally a project has a funding for communication. You create a website, but after the project is over, the website will go offline, and it might be that you lose information and the public don't have access to the information anymore. So here in Capacity4dev, you have a fixed page that is not going to go offline. It stays forever. The groups, as we say, are more collaborative, while the projects are more unilateral. So you are announcing and it's static pages. The resources are dedicated for when you have methodologies and a wide range of tools that can be used for more than one project, for more the topic that you are talking about. For example, you created a group on a topic, but this methodology is relevant to all other topics in the platform, or at least a few. That's when you create a resource. Also going to navigate through this and show you in the virtual tour. And finally, the articles. It's a feature that is exclusively managed by the editorial team. We have a few lines of publications like the ambassador's blog, editorial highlights. And if you like to have an article featured in our platform, you have to get in contact with the editorial team. Get in contact through the support mailbox, and we forward your request to them. So here is a little recap. So if you're thinking about creating a space in Capacity4dev, following this organigram, so do you want to have interactions with members, have discussions, people can contribute? So you're going to create a group. Groups can be public, restricted, or private. What does that mean? Public, open access, everyone can see, they can request membership or just join, however you configure it. Restricted is when it's only available to certain domains that are selected by the group owner when you create the group. So let's say only people from the EEAS domains are going to be able to see this group and ask to join. Or I don't know, we recently updated the list of restricted domains. So if you are intending to create a domain, you have to select from a drop-down list the ones available. And if not, you can include still people as admins. Gonna see that in advanced webinars. And finally, private is when you don't have interest to be found by any person. You just want to invite people. So it's like a secret group. Of course, people can ask to join if they have the link. Finally, if you want to share knowledge publicly about your project, you're going to create a project, and project can only be public. It's a page. And finally, do you want to share a horizontal non-thematic resource? Then you can create a resource that can also be public or restricted. So let's go to the virtual tour. So I prepare here. Right. In between, we put another question for you. Right, so we're gonna start this tour a little differently today. Normally, we start with the home page, but we have some important reminders, and I would like to start by that. So here, this is the home page when you log in, when you're already logged in. And and if you would like to edit your profile, this is how you do it. Go to my profile and my settings. Here, you're going to be able to edit all your information and select all the topics of interest, countries of interest, and most importantly, it's where you're able to activate or deactivate notifications and the frequency of them. I'm going to put weekly here. And to allow members to get in contact with you using the chat function, you go to agreements and select this case. I allow members to contact me through my personal contact form. And don't forget to save changes. This way, you are able to receive notifications in your email concerning the topics, concerning the people that you follow, concerning the activity you are interested on. And use the chat, which will be concentrated here under your profile. And I'm going to show you later how you see for the other people. In my profile, you can see an overview of your own information. This is one of the pages that I go most, which is my memberships, because I always want to look to the groups I'm participating, because I'm managing a lot of groups. I have to go inside of them. So here's how it appears. It's normally divided by the ones you are admin and the ones you are owner and the ones you participate. This is the discussions you published and commented on. In this case, I'm using my secondary account because my admin account has a lot of other features that are not available for everyone. This is for following. I'm going to show you this function as well. Everything that you follow, especially content, will appear here. This is not for following people like on X. So let's say someone create a discussion and you want to know if people are commenting, people are updating it. Here's how it's going to appear. Library is all the library items you publish. The bookmarks is from the bookmark option. Your network, the people you have added. So this is my official account. And the stats, that is how many audios, discussions, everything that you have done in the platform so far. So once you have all the countries and now the topic selected, then you have an ongoing homepage activated. Here you're gonna have suggestions of every type of content in the platform according to the topics, countries, and the people you followed. So let's say I follow myself from the other account, which is the account that is publishing job opportunities in the job opportunities group. So I see here in my feed, directly in my feed, because I follow this account. We always have the featured, which is the last article we published in the website. And if you scroll a little bit, you're gonna have groups suggested for you, projects, the resources, the events, all that is generated by the algorithm. Here you have also some statistics since the last month. This is also according to your interests, and you can check the people you are following and the followers, as well as some suggestions. We're gonna go through all the menu here throughout this virtual tour. And first of all, we're gonna go to the topics page. The topics page is like a powerful research engine where you have, of course, all the topics that you know from the platform and subtopics. Each time someone posts a content, they are obliged to select at least one topic and one country. This is organized by DG INPA's way of organizing topics of international cooperation. But if you like to filter it according to SDGs, it's also possible. And then you're going to display the topics that are related to it. If you click in a topic, like agriculture and rural development, you're going to see this page that reunites all the content related to the topic. You have groups, projects, discussion, library items, resources, articles, all the members that are interested in it, which is also a way to network and connect, and the events. This page also presents the future articles and suggestions of content like the overview page, like the home page. If you go to countries, we have a pretty similar way of navigating. But at the beginning, you can select the countries either from a map view or from a list view. But in the map, the advantage is that if you select a country, you also have the statistic for it. Capacity4dev statistics. So how many groups they have, projects, discussion, library items, and even members that are following this country as an interest. If you click in the country, we have a very similar page to the topics one, where you have all the groups, projects, discussions, library items, resources, and so on, reunited in one page. And like the home page, you have the algorithm generating a page for you. Currently, if you're looking for something concerning a country or a topic, we recommend mostly using topics and countries. And we have two articles pages in our page. You're gonna notice that if you go to browse content, we have an article page here and an article page here. The big difference is that this is the feature page of articles, and this one is simply for browsing in the browse content. So appears as if you're gonna start a research here, it goes directly to this. Here. So as I was saying, articles are generated or managed by our editorial team. We have some lines of publication, some editor spotlight. We have the podcasts. We have the ambassadors blog. We have voices and views. And they're mainly sharing best practices, experiences on the field, results from monitoring and evaluation, results of project that are mainly in the media right now, or lines of activity that are important for the EU currently and for the platform as well. We are starting to analyze the data, so to bring you more of hot topics that are being discussed in the platform itself. Resources, this is a pretty new page and feature to Capacity4dev. Here, basically, you're going to see that it's separated in key EU official resources and recent resources that can be EU official ones as well as non-EU ones suggested by the community. Sorry. If you navigate through a project, through a resource, you're going to see it has a different configuration than groups and projects. But this is a subject for a mid-advanced webinar. Yes, Karen, would you like to ask a question concerning resources? I cannot hear you. I think your microphone is off.
Is it possible to use the resources and like in a program development or in a project development link what we're trying to say with this website as seen on Capacity4Development, like, you know, so we don't have to go into repeat. I'm very keen on not repeating like in words what's already given and accepted. So is that possible? Just to link it across.
I didn't quite understand your question. Could you
so
reformulate,
when
please?
we're writing a project and like discussing capacity building and discussing best practices that have been promoted on Capacity4Development, can we use those resources as a means of verifying what we're attempting to say in the project development with regards to capacity development, rather than respin the wheel? So just put a link direct to your page and say, like, you know, well, you know, this is what Capacity4Development finds as best practice. We intend to use that best practice within our project deployment and during our deployment process, rather than like reinvent the wheel and have to say it all again. It just seems a bit pointless, because there's some excellent resources here. And like, you know, rather that you don't need to write the whole thing, it's much better to pick out the salient points and then bring the reader through during the project development phase, bring the reader back to your website to reinforce what we're saying as a guaranteed resource. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you can. Yes, I think you can definitely reference it in your documents, put links, and that can be I believe this is becoming a more and more reliable resource. But as for if it's acceptable or not for submitting a project, I couldn't answer you because I do not participate in any of these processes. But I hope so. I hope it becomes something
I can't see
a good
why
practice.
not, because this is an official EU, and I very much doubt if you would allow content to go up that doesn't fit with standards, your standards and expectations. So I can't see any reason, like, you know, like the Team Europe initiative and joint programming tracker. I mean, if we pulled something out of that and saying that this is where we've kind of gained some of our partnership from the Capacity4Development website, and these partners have been on board for over a year, and they're working, and we're doing one initiative in one country, and we can repeat that initiative in another country to gain traction and speed up the implementation of the SDGs. I think that would be very forward thinking and very helpful, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, it's made by the own users of international corporations, so it's their own reference, which is pretty reliable. Yes, let us know if you use it and how did it go. Thank you, Karen. Gonzalo, you had a question as well concerning resources. Your microphone is also off. Hello. Yeah, I see it's blocked your microphone. Nope. I see here the sign that is blocked. Well, try to figure that out, and we're gonna continue, but whenever you are able to speak, we're gonna answer your question. So moving on for the virtual tour, after we gone through all this blue menu bar, we're gonna go to the browse content one. This is basically for research. So here you have all drop-down lists with all the groups where you can filter according to keywords, to SDGs, to countries. So you're matching topics with countries, the types, if they're public, if you want to go on. Yes. Private ones are possibly able to see, but you can request to join. And it's going to go in the same way for all of them. It's just going to change from groups to projects. But the interesting thing is for all the public ones, instead of going in each group, you can have all the discussions in one place. And here you are able to follow a discussion, to bookmark it, to like it, or even share. Same for library, resources, articles. Here's an interesting page in browsing content, which is actually browsing users. So you can see all the members that are in the platform, and you can filter them by the topics, by the countries of interest, by the type of organization they are working at. And if you have the contact, if you check that box we've seen at the beginning, allowing people to contact you, it's going to appear like that. Otherwise, it's going to be like this. It's also interesting because you see the number of contributions that people did in the platform. And finally, we have also events on the platform. This is a feature similar to what we have on Facebook, for example, to create an event and make people participate. But we would like to see more of events that are actually something that people can attend to. You can put the links here. What we do, for example, for the onboarding webinar is that when we have a recording, we put on the event afterwards. So you have everything in one place concerning this event. We recently had an update at the platform as well, and the events now they can only have a maximum length of 6 months. Well, we have 2 more things to show before finishing the virtual tour, and you can answer 2 other questions. I'm just gonna ask Maria, could you send the next poll? I'm gonna see the answers. So we have a few people interested in opening a group or a project, even a resource. This is my homework for you that are attending to this webinar. Try, if you are interested, if you have already something in mind, try to create a group or try to join a group that concerns the topic you are interested in, and try to create discussions, see how it goes, just to use these basic features of group. No. I prepare here. So This is how a group looks. You always have the cover picture, the thumbnail, and when you edit the group, you also have the summary that appears here. You're gonna notice that when you are creating a group, you have to add the summary, and then when you go inside the group, you don't see the summary anymore because this is only for the research. So you have everything, you have to write again if you have an essential information in the description. So this is how groups look like. As I mentioned, they have discussions instead of news, and their menu are not customizable. You can bookmark, like, or share a book, and you can ask to join. Sometimes depending on the configuration of it, you can ask to join, or you can join and be accepted automatically. In the group, you can see the latest activities. It's a compilation of discussions, library items, and events. It's also important to add all the related stuff when you are creating a new space in Capacity4dev. You have related groups, related resources, articles. So everything is going to appear here and at the bottom. And you can check the owner and the admins here. Some groups, they decide not to use the info pages and they decide to only do repository of documents like this one did. And this group doesn't have discussions. And just to show you the difference quickly, I selected a project to show as well. So as you see, instead of discussions, you have news, which work in the same kind of way, but this can only be published by the admins and the owner of the group, of the project. So it's quite unilateral. Still, I think you're able to comment on what's happening, and you're able to contribute anyways somehow. Well, the last thing I wanted to go through is how to post content. Now let's go to two things that I'm being asked a lot about is how to create a group and a project, because you don't see any buttons here. If you go to post content, you don't see here. You have to go to the groups page in browse content. And here you're gonna have the little blue button, create a group. Same for project and same for resources. But if you are willing to post a discussion, post a library item, create an event, you have to go through here and select from this list, which is going to show the groups you joined or our owner, admins, being an administrator of it, and then you can do it. You have to fill all the fields that are marked with the red asterisk. Always have to choose a topic and a country, and be as specific as you can. Well, let me go back to you. So I see we only have 3 answers for the last 2 questions. Would you like to answer the poll a little bit? This is quite interesting for us to have some insight on what's going on, and profiling you a little bit according to your interests. But most people that are here are not planning to open a space on Capacity4dev right now. So what I ask you as a homework is to join a space and comment on a discussion, anything that comes to your interest. This way, you learn a little bit how to do it.
May I ask a question? You've put countries there. One of our projects is continental. It's not a single country. Is there can you add like Africa or ASEAN, for Asia and like South America? So instead of actually picking countries, if be preferable for us, we're doing one on IUU fishing, and that impacts on the totality of Africa, not just
Yes.
one country. So, I mean, to pick one country is, oh, you have got Africa. So can we, instead of a country, can we just select Africa, but not a country, because all countries are relevant?
Yes, you
Or,
can. Wait.
or can I pick just, it's just all the countries except for the internal countries. Nearly all African member states have access to the ocean, and IUU fishing, oh, it's illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing affect the majority of the countries. So you can select countries, so you can select more than one. Gosh.
You can select just the continent if you like, and also worldwide. Most people do this when they don't want to select a country, but use it wisely, please, so it doesn't disturb the algorithm. But yeah, you can even select worldwide if you wish. So
Thank you.
I see for the people that share content, it's kind of share. Yeah, I think this poll doesn't have so much insight from 3 answers. How do you plan to use Capacity4dev? This is an interesting one. Networking with professionals, 25%, sharing knowledge and resources, 38%, alongside learning from existing content. So I see as people are not here so much for opening spaces, like most of the people that answer, I see that there's a lot of people searching and browsing for content, and I'm sure you're gonna find many interesting documents, library items, videos, and also events to join here on Capacity4dev. Finally, let's go to the Q&A. So we have a question from Javier Harun. If we create an event, do we need to link it to a project page? And can we invite groups to that event? Yes, events always have to be linked to a page. Let's go here. So you go on post content. And you go to create an event, and you always have to attach to a group or a project. For a project, you can only do it if you are the project owner or admin. Otherwise, you won't be able, but I guess if it's your project, you're gonna do it there. And this is how you do it. This is the step-by-step you go. You can attach to more than one group at once. But if it's a private one, for example, you're not gonna be able from here at once. Let's say you want to publish in a public and a private group, then you have to publish in a public group and then reshare it inside of the private group. All right. And a question. Yes, Javier, would you like to ask further on your own question?
Yes, thank you very much, Ivan. Just to clarify, so for example, if I create then an event and I want to invite a relevant group to that event, people who are interested, I can do it then this way, right?
Yes, you can reshare it. Maria, could you put the help and support page on resharing it, or we're gonna send in the follow-up if it's not accessible right now. But we're gonna put the tutorial for you, Javier.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And last question before we finish. How is the whole platform connected with specific EU external action activities, particularly regarding reporting and monitoring? So this is an EU hosted platform where you're going to find many EU members contributing in the platform. We have a lot of we are outreaching to the European Union to create more groups and projects to make them use the platform. And this is the only way that we are specifically connected to them. It's a platform where they can come and share with colleagues from all the other EU institutions without needing only a specific platform and specific access in their IT secure environment. For reporting and monitoring, we have a specific group for that. I think it's a private group, but we have much content in the platform concerning reporting, monitoring, evaluation. So you can check it out, even the topic concerning this. Giuseppe, would you like to add something to your question? No, it's all fine. Okay, perfect. Karen, I'm not sure if your hands are raised from before or now. Do you have any other questions?
No, yes, I do. You mentioned the EU considerably, but a lot of our work is international. Therefore, I have groups in Africa and certainly in the Caribbean. 751, as I mentioned, it's 7 continents, 5 oceans, 1 mission. We've now got our first ocean, which is the Pacific, and the small island states that are located in the Pacific. They've now set up their organization to be one of our, and we're also setting one up in the Indian Ocean, and of course North and South Atlantic. Can they, although from Africa, can they become members? But they could, because they're not EU, can they also be members and take advantage of the platform?
Yes, surely. This is not a platform only for EU. It's for all international cooperation workers willing to share knowledge and learn, connect with other international cooperation workers. Everyone is invited. Well, this was great to be interacting with you. We are finishing the webinar now. We are going to have next week the advanced webinar. So stay tuned to the platform. We're going to publish as an event. We have a couple of things to be announced in the next few months. So also stay tuned for that. Do not forget to activate your notifications to receive information from the platform according to your topics of interest and countries. And well, you all have this homework. Either you create a group or launch a group and create a discussion. Right? I'll be the one behind the screen approving it, verifying it. And if you have any other questions, we have left the support mailbox here, and you can also book a call with all of our team, individually with our team, and we will dedicate 30 minutes only to you to help you to create your space, to create a project or group, or answer any questions about Capacity4dev. Thank you very much. See you soon, and enjoy the Capacity4dev experience.